Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today what I want to talk about is a website that I found. And this isn't going to be the only time I talk about this website. I'm actually going to go into this website quite a lot on this channel. But yeah, we're going to start that today. As I was saying, I found this really cool website. And I'm going to put the link in the description box, of course, because I think that this is something that, again, I'm going to come back to this website a lot, and I think it's something that you should check out. I think everybody should check this website out. Whether you're into prepping or survival or not, I think you should check this out. One thing that caught my eye is that, as you know, right now I'm in this tiny room here. It's kind of cramped. I'm getting overloaded with all kinds of stuff. And so we do plan on building a separate building. And I'm going to move my office, my whole production is going to go out to that, and is going to go out there. We're going to have, better lighting. Everything's going to be better. We're going to have more room. My dog will be there because, my dog will live in the shed. But it's going to be like 10 by 20 with lofts in the top so that I can have more storage overhead, because this is a short ceiling here. It's actually gets shorter as it gets towards this side of the room. It's just, it can be a lot better. And so, but the thing is though, is that, and I know I've talked about it in the past, and now that everything that I've been working on for the past 2 years has kind of resolved, I'm actually going to have a little bit more money that I can actually start working on some of the projects around the house and everything. And so when I do get the shed put in, I don't want to have to deal with like any paperwork or permits to get it wired for electricity. So I'm going to use that as my perfect opportunity to delve into solar energy. And the reason that I talk about that is because on this website, I found basically cheap solar power system. It's 5 pages long. I printed it up, and here we have Ward's cheap solar power system, and it's got a couple pictures, but it talks about what this guy deemed is like the necessities, the essentials, and then it goes into the system components, and then you've got like some a couple pictures of how his setup, and according to there's no date on when this was made or anything, and he's just using one solar panel, but he built it for less than $700, and so for less than $700 he's got the power he needs in his cabin. He has the power he needs. And so that's basically what I want to do in that shed. Now, looking at his, I can definitely use his schematics here, so that I can kind of have an idea of how he's accounting for everything. And he has his non-electric appliances here. I'm probably not going to have too many non-electric appliances in there because it's it's going to be an office, so it's going to be pretty much electric. And some of the stuff he's using, I want to use like larger stuff, obviously, and because they have some stuff at Harbor Freight that I wanted to, use, because my thinking is, if I'm going to mess up the solar power, I'd rather mess it up with Harbor Freight stuff than with expensive stuff. So it'll give me that learning curve, and if I can get the Harbor Freight stuff to work and be efficient, then it's just a matter of when we buy property in 5-6 years or whatever, and I start redoing everything on a much larger scale in a better environment, somewhere where it's like we have like 4 seasons and the weather's 20 degrees cooler, then I can invest in the better equipment because I'll already know how to set it up myself. And so basically, so I printed this off. And so I'm going to be able to use this as my template to build my solar energy back there. Now, getting back to this website, the website is called Collapse Survival Site. collapsesurvivalsite.com, and they've got 400 plus manuals. And you know, this one's only 5 pages. Some of them are 700-800 pages. Some of them are just like one sheets. But there's over 400 manuscripts, you know, and manuals that you can access for free. There's no charge to it. Go up here a little bit. Free survival books and manuals. And then here you can check out the list of over, if you want to get some free books on preparedness and emergency survival, check out the list of over 400 downloads below. We've gathered hundreds of survival books and manuals that are in the public domain. So again, this is free. It's free. You can download it. You can print it off. I plan on the stuff that I'm going to be using like right away. Again, like this right here, I plan on buying this stuff in the next few months, so that when we get the shed put in, I'm ready to go. I also have these. I'm going to talk about these in another video, but I also printed those ones. So, but we'll talk about that one in a follow-up video anyway. But so basically, they've gathered, this Collapse Survival Site has gathered several hundred, over 400, but they've got hundreds of survival books and manuals in the public domain. A lot of them are full-length books, and they've included the page numbers so you can quickly identify them, and then you can save them. And my plan is this: the ones that I'm going to use first, I'm going to print off, but I plan on saving a whole bunch of them onto a micro SD card, and then eventually I'm going to buy a separate tablet. And then what I want to do is I want to put it in a Faraday bag inside a Faraday box with one of these like small solar charging power banks, and then that way, if there's no power, then I can still use it by turning it on. And so they've got lists, animals and hunting, bushcraft foraging, communication, gardening, composting, general survival. Though I pulled this off of Power and Light. It also talks about another one. It talks about is like building a windmill, so that you can use wind power. So, well, yeah. So anyway, that's it. collapsesurvivalsite.com, and I'll actually put the link to this particular manuscript. This one I'm going to be using for solar power. This cheap solar power. I'll also put the link to this one in there, so you know exactly where you can find it if it's something that you're interested in doing. Alright, that's it. That's going to be kind of like the first video in this Collapse Survival Site. But again, you should check them out. Again, I'll put the link in the description box, because I think that, as I've said before, you can buy the best equipment out there, but if you don't know how to use it, it's not going to do any good. So definitely check this website out. Some great stuff here. Alright, till next time, keep repping.